Hey guys, James Doig here from Connecticut Football Club. I'm here with Marty Walker and Leon Othen. We're going to be going over frequently asked questions and a few questions that came in on our website and social media about the current situation. Okay, first question going to you guys is, what is going to happen to the spring season?
Wow. Thanks, James. And it's obviously stuff is ongoing. We've obviously the state of Connecticut have just held everything back until April the 30th. And then I believe the soccer leagues are all kind of sticking to that. Rumor has it that there will be something in the summer. Marty, anything you want to elaborate from what you've heard from US Club and US Youth Soccer?
Yeah, from what I gather, the season's going to happen at some point, whether it's pushed back later in the spring or it's condensed into a shorter season over the summer months. Our league partners are determined that the spring season that we're starting right now, or should be starting right now, will happen at some point.
I think what we've got to also realize is that a lot of the younger teams weren't about to start until after Easter anyway. So, if it's a May start, we've only lost 2 weeks. If it is a summer start, then that's what we'll be doing. There's enough time over the summer. The equivalent amount of time over the summer is what we would have had in the spring. It would have been a real short spring season anyway, from Easter to Memorial Day weekend. Like Marty said, I think all the leagues are determined to get something started at some point over the late spring, early summer.
Right now on the website, we have April 30th. Is that still a possibility?
It's a possibility, certainly, but it's just to align with the current climate and the messages that are coming from the governing bodies and the government with regards to social distancing policies to keep people separated so that they can manage this virus situation. So the realist in me says that we probably stretch back beyond that a little bit further, but it's right now that's our date, that's our end point. Unless it changes in the meantime, we'll take it from there.
So for me, what I'm understanding is a lot of you guys are want to get this started right now if you can, but for health and safety reasons, you've got to listen to other people, and it's when you're told you can go is when you can go. It's not really up to you guys, is what I'm saying.
Exactly, yeah. Yep.
Okay. Next question is, what will happen to summer camps? Obviously, I know you mentioned it may pull over into summer. Will that affect summer camps? Will it still go on?
Summer camps are an integral part of our programming. We have our own fields, we have full-time staff, and to help pay for those full-time staff, we do have the summer camps. As the note went out just the other day, we have made the decision to furlough our full-time staff, and that's basically because we are uncertain on how the summer will look and the camps that we may or may not have. The decisions made on the league will determine when and where we play. And the league will take precedence over any camps. Will we still have camps if we can get out in the summer? Definitely. I can envisage us doing training during the evenings, games on the weekends, maybe some weekday games as well. But summer camps provide a great service in the summer, both for, believe it or not, childcare purposes, for players from other clubs that may or may not be premier clubs to come and get some training from us, and also for players on our own teams that want to do stuff that's above and beyond their normal practices. So to answer your question, if we can get out in the summer and the league is in the summer as well. We may well do summer camps in the morning and training in the evening. If we can get the season done beforehand, then we will be as we were with the summer. And obviously, as soon as we start up again, staff will be back at work.
Okay. Well, running along with that, what about residential and the residential camp? Is that the same story?
Yeah, the residential camp, it's something that we've always enjoyed running. We missed it last year as we transitioned from Everton to Inter. And it's a focal point of our summer schedule and our summer calendar. So the league will take precedence, certainly. And if it runs into the summer, it's important that we get all the league games done. The residential itself provides an opportunity for teams to practice and players to practice. It runs from a Sunday to a Thursday, so it shouldn't impact weekend games too much. And when talking to the league partners, if we have to host games that week, we can always host games at the residential facilities, which are beautiful at Avon Old Farm. So there's a real desire to have that residential run. Should we get the green light to get back on the field? To Leon's point, it would be nice if we got the green light earlier and we did get back on the field in May or June, and we didn't have to condense everything into a shorter season, which would allow us to have a better structured summer camp schedule. But certainly the residential is something that we see as a priority, and this is a really good experience for players and coaches alike.
Okay.
We're in touch with the school on a not daily basis, but on a regular basis. And the latest information is, as we are really, the school hasn't cancelled anything on us. They imagine us being ready to go. So, at this time, we are expecting to run the residential camp.
Okay, fantastic. So we're speaking a lot about summer camps, residential. What about right now for players? What should players be doing right now? Is there anything, assignments, or should they be checking in with coaches? What should they be doing?
I've just come off of 4 Zoom meetings with 4 different teams and their coaches, etc., which are fun. We're actually in phase 3 of our stay-at-home plan. Phase 3 is basically more social. Phase 1, we got all the education out there. We created our own platform rather than going out to third-party apps or anything like that. So we created our own that fits in with our own vision and core competencies, etc., etc. Marty's been doing the webinars, which again was all part of phase 2. We've also been communicating with all our families, but as we ramp up, we've got daily plans as well. But to your point, James, everyone, and we have to realize this, everyone has had a change of circumstances. People are getting used to online learning with their schools, and we kind of, the Zoom meetings have been great to find out what different children are doing from different schools. Some are done by 10 a.m., some are done at 4 p.m., some have actual lessons that they have to be at and listen to. Some can do at their own time, and everything's different, and everyone's getting used to everything. During that time, we didn't want to burden players, families with, you must do this at this time and you have to do that. We've got the information out there. We've provided a bit more structure with the daily plans. We've got daily plans for 7v7, 9v9, and the 11v11 format. We've recommended players do that, but we haven't mandated it. So there's plenty for players to be doing. Marty, do you want to talk about your webinars?
Yeah, well, what we've decided was, like Leon said, instead of kind of outsourcing our online content, we've decided to kind of create our own, and it's been significant, right? All our staff have done a good job of building programs and assigning tasks and getting it to Leon, and Leon getting it online. The webinars, as well as everything else, provide our players with a platform for learning at home. And it's more classroom based and it's tactical. But it allows engagement, and it's designed to replace practices. Initially, it was designed to replace practices for the high school teams that I oversee, but we've realized that it's good for some of the younger teams as well to play in an 11v11 format. So they're still learning, even though they're not on the field striking a ball as a group. They're still learning stuff that we wouldn't even get to kind of delve into as much as we would like during the regular season. The silver lining is that we can actually educate our players better in a classroom session off the field, as opposed to just putting them through their paces and trying to get across some information on the field in the hope that they all take it on board. So yeah, it's what we've done online will allow us to offer our players and families more going forward, because we'll have the classroom content to back up the field content and support the philosophies of the club and the online curriculum and the core competencies. So there's a means to an end. It's about total preparation and allowing our players or affording our players the opportunity not to just practice soccer and enjoy the game, but to really become students and learn the game and become better with their soccer knowledge.
Okay, fantastic. Now, along with that, obviously the tactical sessions, Leon, you brought up plans and stages, stage 1 through 3. Within that is the work that players can be doing at home on the ball, technical work on the ball. Is that part of it?
Oh, certainly. And that's the whole reason we created the online platform. As unfortunate as this situation is, what it has done is brought forward the plans that we had, the long-term plans anyway, for there to be online learning and education away from the field that that coincides with the education or the evaluations that the coaches have provided. At InterCT, all the coaches have provided evaluations on core competencies, and it's one of the most comprehensive evaluations that anyone will ever get. And what we've been saying to players is, if there's something that you weren't happy with regards to your evaluation, now we don't grade the kids 1 to 10 or anything like that. It's the perceived, frequency in which they do each of those core competencies, whether it be passing with the inside of the foot and the accuracy or something like that. What we have done is say, hey, if you're not happy with your grade there, here's something on the online platform that says, number 1. So if someone's not happy with the evaluation, all they need to do is say, oh, look, on the online platform, inside of the foot passing, and then they go, all right, here is something that, here's an example from the professionals. This is what the coaches are looking for. Number 2, here's the key coaching points, just so you can get that across. And then number 3 is a do-at-home drill, so that you can really get down to what's known as deliberate practice, doing something over and over and over again to become really good at it. And as you could tell by my voice, I'm very passionate about players doing that. And players have never had a better chance, A, to become students of the game, like what Marty's saying, from a tactical point of view, but also from a technical point of view, understanding not only what to do, but why you're doing it. And then, of course, the education and the repetition on doing that one thing over and over again to get better at it. So, the question, James, is, are there things that players can be doing? The answer is yes. Look at your evaluation, see the things that you're not perfect at, and get better at them. Definitely.
Okay, fantastic. Now, I'm guessing that the content that you've suggested so far is all part of your 4-phase plan. So you've mentioned being more social. You mentioned the webinars from Marty, the Zoom meetings. Is there anything else?
Yeah, like phase 1 was just getting the content out there. Phase 2 was giving a little bit more structure, adding the webinars, adding the phone calls. Phase 3 this week is all about being social. We've got some challenges. we're meeting every team as coaches, and as myself and Marty are doing that between the high school and then the younger ones. Phase 4 we're excited about, because this is where we're going to start to add some of the virtual sessions. Feedback from parents has been, we want something to attend. We want there to be like an appointment or something like that, because let's face it, when they go to normal practices, they're turning up at 4:30 or at 6 o'clock and they attend something. So what we're going to be doing is setting something up that players can attend a class, whether it be a ball manipulation, whether it be soccer aerobics, whether it be stretching, and we're working hard right now just so we can add that for phase 4.
Yeah, I'll reiterate one of Leon's earlier points, and that was, during our phone calls to the families, we've realized that people do miss soccer, certainly, but there's other changes and other challenges in families' lives, and that's kind of getting used to the online curriculum and so on and so forth. And like Leon said, we didn't want to load people with expectations and mandatory deadlines and sessions that they had to be at. What we wanted to do was provide them with content that they could use whenever it was possible to do so. Now, that's changing. And based on our conversations, we've always known that we had a structure, and we'll have to structure a little bit more. And the next phase of it is providing that structure, so that now that parents and families have got used to homeschooling, some parents are returning to work, haven't been off for a couple of weeks or whatever. It's good for us to provide that content and the structure so that they now know what to expect moving forward.
Okay, fantastic. Next question I have for you guys is, does my son or daughter have a place at the club moving forward, considering the current climate?
Marty?
Yeah, well, listen, it's a weird season, right? And it's for me, I actually quite like the challenge of tryouts that this poses, right? I hate the tryout season anyway. I think it's quite asinine, and excuse my language. The reality is, if us, we would like people to be at the club for a long time and allow us to develop them in the way we want to develop them. And we feel if they do that, we hold up our end of the bargain, then we'll produce quality players and quality people. This may be the first year that goal comes to proper fruition, because we want to take away the stress of people going seeking tryouts or feeling as if they're under pressure to try out, by guaranteeing that we'll keep the status quo on our end, right? It's just, now that we've put structures in place so that the club will exist next year, we want our families who've been very supportive of us, they understand that they have a place to play at, and they have a safe and secure and fun environment in which they can learn a game of soccer. So, long story short, everybody's guaranteed a spot. Whether you're the best, you feel you're the best player on your team, or you feel you're the worst player on your team, it's not about the moment. It's about a long-term plan and long-term athlete development. So we hope that everybody comes back and joins us for next year, with the understanding still that we want to get this season finished. But for me personally, if tryouts get taken away this year, it's probably going to be the most fun year for me in terms of just turning over teams and having the same teams next year, because the kids we have in the program are looking good. The coaches we have in the program are good. And if we keep a little bit of consistency, sometimes you reap that reward. So hopefully everybody stays, because everybody is welcome.
Okay.
I think as well, we got to realize as well that on the most part, tryouts are for new players. Our own players that attend tryouts, they're not there getting evaluated on that 1 hour situation. They're being evaluated constantly from our coaches, hence the evaluations that they're given as well. So, if we don't do tryouts this year and we have our existing players, it's not the end of the world. It's not as if our own players need to try out anyway. Our own players, like I said, are awarded a spot or not based on their performance and attitude and everything, on and off the field anyway.
Okay, so for them players that we're talking about that want to come back next year, you've sent out renewals now. Usually, is it in April? What's the difference? Why have they been asked to renew now?
Well, it's the climate's forced our hand a little bit. We're probably a month in advance of when we would typically send out renewals, right? And what we typically do is we say, hey, listen, now we want you back for next year. Here's the opportunity to renew.
So it's just 1 month earlier.
Yeah, so it's four, maybe 5 weeks max of a difference from what our annual calendar looks like as a business. Now we go into this time of year anyway, saying, right, you know what, we need to get the renewals in before the season's. Now, even before the season started, right? No, the season starts kind of like just after Easter, for the most part, and it's like the first business-related topic of the season is, right, no, let's get our renewals done. Let's get the club in order and structure and safety and security for us as a club and for the families and players for next year. For a couple of reasons. One, because we then know who's invested and who wants to stay with us and who's prepared to kind of commit for the following year. So that allows us to then think, right, maybe one team needs 4 players because somebody's moving to Georgia or somebody's moving to Alabama or somebody's moving to New Hampshire, right? So it gives us an opportunity to find out what our teams are going to look like and therefore what we need to do. It really helps us then with tryouts and being specific with the people and positions that we want to bring into the club. But again, it's the reason why we've gone early is because the climate's forced our hand a little bit. And Leon's points earlier, we don't know what the season's going to look like yet. We don't know what the summer's going to look like yet. And it's important for us that our families and players know they have a place to play in a club that exists moving forward. And those that do sign up and those that have signed up as an early renewal, and we've provided really good incentives for early renewals this year, actually kind of stabilize and put a good bit of security in the kind of how our teams look moving forward. So it helps us with our planning in an uncertain time.
Okay, so for them parents and families or guardians or whoever it may be that is covering the membership and renewing, is it a one-off payment? Do we have to pay everything at once? Is it spread out? How's it done?
Well, we've got a number of different options. And again, thank you so much for the parents that have already committed to next year already. Their commitment to us and their support is very much appreciated. But just to answer your question there's 4 different options, if I'm correct, Marty. There's I want to commit to next year. I can't afford the whole thing, so we're asking for early acceptance, which is before April 13th. They pay $1,000 and they can pay monthly. And in doing so, they get a number of different free camps, et cetera, et cetera. I believe they get InterCT merchandise, money off. The second option is to pay for 1 year upfront, which is the full amount. A lot of people prefer to do that anyway. And, we understand that now is probably an insensitive time to ask for full amount of money. But that being said, we do know that some families can and want to do that just to get ready. So we're just giving those families the opportunity to do so. They can pay for 1 year upfront straight away. The second choice, am I right, Marty, is that there's 2 year?
Yeah. So choice 3 would be 2 year full, right? So they pay for their tuition for 2 years. And we've had a few already, and it's a real it's really refreshing to have people do that and show their trust in the club and show their trust in us. And it's been based off of we have an advisory board, and we reached out to the advisory board when all this kind of went crazy. Whenever everything was kind of put, the red light came on and everything came to a full stop. One thing we do is turn to our advisory board in times of of need and crisis, and when we need advice. And he says, listen, there's people that are invested in the club and invested in you guys and love the staff and love the coaches and love the experience. So, you know, if they were us, they would give a package for people and then have a package be incentivized. So to Leon's point, there's that 1 year package that's all right. You pay a deposit and you can pay up over time and you get this. The second choice was the 1 year full. You pay up front and you get a little bit more. Then there's the 2 year full package where you pay your tuition for 2 years and you get even a little bit more because you're paying 2 years up front. And then there was a gold package, which was basically for people who were interested in just kind of helping us out in this time of crisis, where like we knew that every business, and even especially small businesses, are going through a period of uncertainty. And they've invested their money to pay for a gold package, which helps us out now, but they reap the benefits and get a load of incentives in the future, like a specific number of summer camps, a specific number of one-on-one sessions, percentages off residential, percentage off small group clinics in the winter,
they get a
tuition freeze for 2021-22, and car magnet. As much as it's not worth that much, and a lot of people are begging us for car magnets. So, there's a lot of incentives for people to sign up, and the incentives reflect the packages, right? If you're going to sign up and pay over time, then you get these incentives. If you're going to pay up front, you get these incentives. If you go 2 years, you get more incentives, and if you go gold package, there's like loads and loads of incentives.
Doik, I'm going to preempt the next question. I reckon the next question could be, well, why are you offering 2 year options? You know, you're a premier program. There should be tryouts. You want to get the best players possible. I'm gonna preempt that, and I'm gonna say, yes, absolutely, you're correct. The number of parents that are A, in a position to do so, and B, have done so has been very, very minimal. But back to my earlier point, the players that are with us right now, myself, Marty, and the coaches are committed to making those players better. They're on tryout 24/7. We have a good enough relationship, I hope, with our family that if it wouldn't work out, despite the promise of, income from 2 years, if there's any players at our club right now that would be detrimental to the program and the other players around them, a conversation has to be made. But at this time, the players that are able to do that and have supported us 100% are players also that we want to be coaching as well. It's important to understand that although we're a premier club, we're also dedicated to improving the quality of players at all ages. Is that okay, Marty, to say that?
Yeah, I think it's like one of my pet peeves is like I talk to people across the coaching spectrum, and they're always searching for better players. Now, it's very, very rare that you hear a coach who's invested in improving the players that he or she has. I think by creating a family environment and allowing our parents to understand that we're invested in them and their kids, that's I think where we set ourselves apart. We just want to make our players better, and the evaluations that we provide aren't criticisms. It's an indication of where we see you having the ability to improve, and where we as a club and as a coaching staff and as your coach will help you improve in those areas. So yeah, couldn't agree more.
Okay, another question that I'm going to ask on the last question on the payment plans and that sort of information. Marty, you mentioned that you spoke before you made the plans, you put it out there and got help and advice and went back and forth with the advisory board.
Yeah.
Is that just coaches, or who's involved in the advisory?
No, that's as we transitioned from Everton to Inter, and as Leon and I took over the club last year, it was, we reached out to all our staff and says, listen, is there people are there parents on your team, like there were parents on some of my teams and some of Leon's teams that, obviously have really big interest in the success of the club and are really engaged in helping us achieve our goals. And the coaches kind of came back and says, listen, no, this parent, has done this and is really supportive, and this parent has done this and is really supportive, and there's former parents from players that have played with us and have gone on to play for like NYCFC and are now in college. And it's not just existing parents, but parents that have been Everton America parents. So whenever we did transition, there were people that we reached out to and asked for their support, and they provided it. And they told us that we could lean on them anytime. And as we're bashful that we don't kind of pester them as much as we probably could, because they are very supportive and they are very open to us quizzing them and asking them questions and advice. But when this situation evolved, it was evident that we needed bigger brains and better brains than just mine and Leon's.
I guess
so,
they have a point of view as well, right? They're the people you're dealing with. They're the people that are going to be looking at these plans, so it's got to be friendly towards them and make sense to them.
Yeah, so they're people with their ears on the ground, and they're people who are active in their community, and people who want the best for the club. So they fitted the bill for an advisory board, because they've all said, and they've told us, listen, yeah, don't do that, that's dumb, right? They've told it, but they've also says, listen, there's people, for the most part, everybody's got your back, and the family environment that you've created and the club environment, and people buy into that, and people really, really enjoy it, and that for most people usurps the soccer aspect. As long as they feel as if their kid's a part of something that's, it's a sports club, but they're engaged and invested, then they told us that people will support us, and it was very, very evident from the banquet that we had last year, like the amount of support club wide, and it was. And that's kind of given us the confidence to kind of go and use the advisory board more and allow them to kind of give us more incentive to kind of do this early, right? Because we questioned whether or not they kind of offer early incentives and offer early registration, because it's a tough time for people and it's a tough time for us. But the advisory board says, listen, do it. People are invested, and because of what we're doing, it's increased engagement. And it became less of an obstacle to kind of reach out and say, listen, we're a month early, but here we go, this is what we're doing. The purpose of which was the stress that the club will be in existence, and the club will be here for everybody once we get the green light. So it was imperative from us as a business that we plan and be proactive in getting things in order, not only just from a business perspective, but so that our clientele could see, right, okay, if they're working hard, then they're going to exist. And if beyond creating a club culture, and they're putting things in place so that they are here for next year, then we know we have a place to be. And as such, the support then has been awesome.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, I think we've got through a lot of questions there. Now, Leon, for Marty, also for parents or players that listen to this, and I think we're about 45 minutes in here, so if they've listened to it all, fair play. So for them parents or whoever it may be that have listened this far and still have questions that they'd like to ask, what's a good way of reaching out? Is there any way?
Yeah, as part of our social aspect of phase 3, not only are we being social with the players, we want to be able to reach out to parents as well, especially as a club email has gone out about what's laying ahead, etc., and the fact that as coaches, we've decided to not get paid, which I've got to tell you, myself and Marty, is a decision that wasn't taken lightly. But as Marty said, it's something that was decided upon for the benefit of the club. To answer your question, there's not only are we doing this kind of like interview type podcast thing, We have the frequently asked questions. Every time there's a new question that comes in via email, phone call, etc., we always add it onto the frequently asked questions. How can you get to that? I think that's on the news articles on the website under frequently asked questions. This is going to go out. We also have, there's going to be new starting April the 2nd is office hours. That's for parents that have listened to this podcast and frequently asked questions, read that. They've got a new question, want direct access to myself and Marty. We're going to be available for phone calls. They book a time between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock on a daily basis during the week. And, you know, we'll talk, have a frank conversation about everything that we got. I haven't spoke to Marty yesterday. With, you know, sleepless nights we've had, but we're confident in how the future will look. We're confident with the decisions we've made, as tough as they've been. And when I say confident, and we're happy with the decisions because we know that next year we're going to be a very strong soccer club. With the support that we've had from the parents and the proactive decisions that we've made, definitely we're going to be good. Whether we start May the 1st, whether we start June the 1st, whether we start September the 1st, there definitely will be an Inter-Connecticut. There will be teams at every age group, and we'll be there'll be money in the bank ready to go, ready to pay for leagues, ready to pay for referees, and obviously full-time facilities that we have been paying, even though we're not on the field right now. We're still having to pay a lot of bills for our full-time facilities.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, I think we're going to wrap it up there. Marty, Leon, thank you. Any closing notes before we go?
All good from my end. Yeah, all good. With parents, obviously, just to kind of reiterate Leon's point, if they're outside the office hours, which are going to be great for us, if you just want to give us a call or drop us an email, it's not like we're going out during the day in this climate. So no, we'll get back to people as quickly as they get to us. So feel free to reach out on anything, right? Good and bad advice and criticism. We're open to everything because we want to make sure that everybody has a phenomenal experience.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much, guys.
Cheers, James.
Bye.
Good man.